So I'm here today with Ken Tucker, and Ken hails from Washington, D.C., and he's here with me today in Vancouver, actually Coquitlam, British Columbia, and we're at Paul Klein's office at Phoenix Restorations. Ken just presented to my CEO group today and my key group yesterday, and it was an absolute blast and pleasure to hear from him and all of the wonderful information and ideas that he shared with us. But a little bit more about Ken. Maybe Ken, if you can tell us a little bit about where you hail from and how you got into this line of work.
Well, I come all the way from Nassau, Bahamas originally. I live in the Washington, D.C. area now for the last 20-something years or so. And I've just really enjoyed the journey with Vistage and the multiple owners and CEOs who make a difference in America and in Canada, you know, even around the world. You know, you guys are the backbone of our economic community. You make it happen for families, and I'm glad to be a part of that mission.
Wow, wonderful. Thanks for sharing. And now you're just out here for a few days, I understand that. You're going to take the opportunity to see some of the sites around Vancouver with your wife.
Yeah, Judy, she's here.
Wonderful.
And we'll do some sightseeing now that I'm done.
Now, tell me a little bit about where you started your career.
Yeah, I started this part of my career in particular in Lincoln, Nebraska with the Gallup organization.
Oh, Gallup, okay. Gallup polls. Yeah, I remember those.
And Gallup Leadership and Management Research, yes.
Fantastic.
You know, it was quite a journey, you know, to start and to sit at Don Clifton's feet and to be one of his mentees and to learn firsthand. I tell people there were times I was his lab assistant and other times I was his lab rat.
So how have you been able to take that knowledge that you gained as you were traveling around the world, representing Gallup, asking all kinds of questions, getting involved in organizations? How's that, what have you been able to learn from that and today in terms of how you work and use that material and present that to business leaders and CEOs and what have you?
Well, the thing that's durable from those years would just be the psychometric platform that Gallup and the Myers-Briggs and DISC, et cetera, would use. And so that's the platform my research and my work is built around now. And the discoveries are about human potential and human performance, you know, and how both our potential and our performance is directly connected to our personalities. And so my focus is this idea that our personality is actually encoded with our purpose. You know, we tend to look outside for our purpose, but we come imprinted with it. If you think about it, it's just a matter of us understanding what makes me unique and different, and how can I use that then to make a difference.
Wow, yeah, it's powerful. And I think that what you were sharing today is around, it's not only about how we interpret and use that information, but when we look at our organizations and our teams, so what are some of the things that business leaders can be doing to use these resources as a tool within their organizations?
There's 6 dimensions that I would encourage decision makers to observe in themselves and in others. First of all, everybody has a personal brand.
True.
All right? We may call it identity, right? But it is who we are, you know, and it has to do with what it is we become known for doing well, and also what it is we want to be known for doing well.
True.
Everybody also has a personal passion, things that ignite their passion. You know, it's that energizing internal fire that drives us to take action.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and if somebody ever gets in the way of our passion, everybody knows.
Look out.
You know, but think about that a minute. Think about that. All leaders and decision makers getting to know the brand and the passion of the individuals they're trying to develop, or the ones they're tapping to succeed them, or the ones that they're seeking to promote. Every one of those persons has a brand and passion that if we got to know it, would inform us in ways to help them to unleash more of their performance. So brand, passion, and then of course, we all come with our skills, all right, with our experience, and with our knowledge, and ultimately with talent. Those 6 dimensions, getting to understand them more fully. Of course, I write about this in my book, Your Intentional Difference. Get to know that, or the Leadership Triangle, those books. Get to know those, understand those, and use them as levers to get people to understand more about how they can contribute in a very significant way.
Now, you talked today a lot about nourishment.
Yes.
Can you just expand on that? And I don't think it's from what we eat,
Oh, no.
although
You
that
know-
is one form of nourishment.
You know, much of the work and the conversation in the workplace today when it comes to getting people to be more productive, et cetera, has to do with engaging the employee.
Yeah.
And the process and the idea of engagement really focuses on the manager and what he or she is doing to create an environment for people to be engaged. But the engagement idea really speaks a lot about things external, and then it comes down to what it is the manager and his or her team are doing together. Nourishment from our data and from our research actually places the onus on the individual. Like, do you eat kale? Do you
When
eat
my
kale?
wife makes me
When
eat
your wife,
kale, yeah.
but why would you eat it at all? Right?
Because it's good for you.
So who is responsible for your nourishment?
Myself.
And that's where we want to see it in the workplace, where every individual employee is responsible for his or her own nourishment. And the way in which we actually get there is understanding that nourishment comes from three primary sources. Nourishment is going to come to me by the work that I'm doing. Is the work I'm doing aligned with who I am or not?
Alignment, absolutely.
That's right. Two, it's going to come from the supervisor. Is he or she creating an environment where I may do those tasks more often that are nourishing to me? And three, from the people I work along with, my colleagues and or my customers. Am I able to interact with my colleagues and my customers in an area where I'm doing tasks that are nourishing to me? Nourishment is absolutely the way in which we can actually create an environment where people have greater ownership and result in higher productivity from the individual.
If you were to hazard a guess, in most organizations, what percentage of people do you think are actually nourished?
Our database tells us that it breaks down like this. As many as 52% of people are likely to be nourished in their workplace.
That's pretty low, really.
52%.
Yeah.
All right? About 11% are going to be undernourished, and the remainder would be partially nourished.
Okay. So it's a very small percentage.
Yeah. And so it's like one of every two persons would
Yeah.
likely be nourished at work.
Wow.
But that can change so quickly.
Yeah.
Because all it takes is for me as a supervisor manager to sit across from somebody and have the kind of questions that helps to draw out for me. It's like Proverbs 20:5 says, what? The purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but the person with insight draws them out. That's all it takes.
So that's our responsibility.
And
as
that's
leaders.
the authentic leader.
Is to draw out.
That's right. Don Clifton would say, let's not try to put in what was left out, but let us draw out that which is already in.
Yeah. So it's really about having a much closer and better and more open relationship with our direct reports, with our employees, with the people that we engage with.
Absolutely. So it really begins with the leader, right?
Yeah.
And he or she understanding what nourishes them.
Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you're off to see some wonderful sights here over to Victoria tomorrow with your wife, and I do really just wanted to thank you for being here today, Ken.
Well,
It
God
was
bless
fantastic.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.